incredibile come Eunice Paiva è quasi una traduzione del nostro paese. È incredibile.
Mamma! I miei bambini. Che succede?
Mio marito è in pericolo. Tutti noi siamo in pericolo, Eunice.
It's amazing how this woman transformed something horrible in something useful. How important was to you to really make a testimony of her strength? How important it is sometimes to transform something horrible in something useful and maybe beautiful, I don't know.
Questa donna è specialissima perché diventa lei tra una tragedia, perché nel principio era come una casalinga perfetta degli anni 50 con questo gran uomo, e dopo la tragedia è quando comincia a diventare la donna che sarà e che veramente era. E fa questo al stesso, in parallelo con il paese. Prova di abbandonare una utopia di vita, è obbligata a abbandonare l'utopia e reinventarsi come un'avvocata, fa parte della Costituzione, si trasforma in una avvocata di diritti umani, partecipa della Costituzione e fa tutto questo senza che persone sapeva di questa donna. Prima è la vedova di questo gran uomo e dopo la madre di questo gran scrittore. E oggi, dopo il libro e dopo il film, è incredibile come Eunice Paiva è quasi una traduzione del nostro paese. È incredibile.
Yeah, you know, somebody who saw the film wrote to me and saying it's interesting how we humans are capable of the worst, you know, which in the film is characterized by, you know, that extremely violent dictatorship that suddenly can knock on a family's door. But within that tragedy, we're also capable of surmounting what seem to be impossible barriers and reinvent ourselves, you know. So in this sense, the story of this family is extremely life-affirming because it shows you that even in the apparently worst-case scenarios, there is possibly a way to reinvent yourself. And like Fernanda just said, the resilience of this woman, but then the form of reinvention was at the same time extremely original and completely subversive. You know, it's a form of resistance that is based on affection, is based on a very potent yet non-strident form of action, and incredibly effective, you know. So we learned a lot from her in doing the film too.
I love the work that you did on photographs, because the pictures really are almost alive. They are a testimony of memory. So do you believe that nowadays we don't print pictures anymore? We all have images on our phones, on social media. The fact that pictures are not tangible are making our memory, I don't know, maybe less strong. I don't know. How important are the pictures to you? Yes. And maybe if you want answer to, yeah.
Yes, no, definitely. You know, with the digital world, we take images and we rarely actually do prints, and we don't share them in the public space. We keep them in the private space, that is in our phones. And interestingly, in doing the research for this film, we understood, for instance, how potent a memory the Super 8 shot by families were in the 70s, because they showed the human map of the 70s, but they also showed the political map of the country behind those faces, you know. So they were an extraordinary testimony of their time. And this is why we integrated the Super 8 in there, to give that sense of immediacy, to get the vividness of that period, but also to actually reconstruct memory through the Super 8. On a personal level, I take photographs. I started with photography, and when I drifted to digital photography, I stopped printing, you know, those images. And now, after I did this film, I did the opposite. I started to print them again because I wanted to have the tangible perception that this was truly lived, and it's not, you know, nested somewhere in a iCloud, you know. There's a tangibility to that, and it's wonderful because anyone can share it.
And you shot in 35 millimeters.
Yes.
Which has
and
to
in
do
chronological
with
order.
And in chronological order, in order to create memory. And also the first task, real task we had in this movie was to recreate the photographs.
Therefore, memory.
And this, as an actress, was very important because it was like shooting. We spent 1 week or 2 weeks in real sets. We had to, with costumes, with makeup, doing the poses, and that was the first entrance to the characters. It was like shooting a movie. And then when we saw the photographs, it was the memory of that experience. The whole film is about memory, but the photographs were really important.
A movie in the movie.
Totally,
like
totally.
Inception. Okay.
And you know, when you do a photograph, it's not enough to do the pose. You have to recreate the feeling. And that was a great, great rehearsals to the film. Rehearsal.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's lovely. Thanks.